fire me, because that is bad business.
I think I might still be a little bummed about all the recent WWE releases from the past 2 weeks because, I don't know, when Logan Paul came out tonight and he was like, you can't fire me, that would be bad business. TKO would never fire me. It left a really bad taste in my mouth. Now, I'm not somebody that just goes out of my way to hate on Logan Paul. In fact, last week he even said it, and I actually enjoyed it last week. But then once somebody pointed out to me that it was kind of in poor taste, I was like, yeah, you're right. But you know what? We all make mistakes. Maybe they weren't thinking about it, and it was a little insensitive, but I let it slide because I didn't even think about it in the moment. But now it's a week later, and we're still kind of, rubbing salt in that wound. And yeah, this week I didn't like it at all. And, also we had Michael Cole one time literally say "Trouble in Paradise," which is Kofi Kingston's was his finisher. I don't know if Michael Cole was saying that to pay tribute to Kofi, wink wink, Kofi, we're thinking about you, or was that just another dig at the fans? Because Triple H does like to take digs at the fan, and Vince McMahon did too. I'm not saying that Vince was perfect here. And I don't know. Plus the Iyo Sky and Asuka segment, it was a really good segment, but the glaring omission of any mention of Kairi Sane really, really just distracting. And that was a really good segment between those two. I wish Asuka would have said just one little thing about how she would just get rid of the Iyo problem like she got rid of the Kairi problem or something like that. And maybe that would have been disrespectful. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But it just feels like Logan Paul's one was just a little too much twisting of that knife. I get it. It's a business. Feel like you don't need to come at me and tell me why it's such a great thing that TKO, who makes record profits and price gouges tickets, is making more money by firing people. It's okay. I get it. You enjoy or you're okay with the people getting fired. It's that you do you. I'm gonna do me over here, and I didn't like the calling out, you can't fire me, TKO never would fire me, that's bad business. So yeah, let's do the one take, one shot Raw review where I do it immediately following Raw, so you get my Raw reaction. No pun intended. Cards on the table, pun intended. And no edits whatsoever. And if you want to win this belt right here, you can. All you gotta do is comment below and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna give it away at 30,000 subscribers. I've been really busy with my restaurant, my day job. I am going to mail out all the prizes from last week within the next 7 days. Fingers crossed. 10 days tops. People, it's not a toy though. It's a replica and you can win it. All right, so Monday Night Raw started off pretty good, actually. We had Roman Reigns. He beelined it to the he was gonna beeline it to the ring. He got into Gorilla, and then Adam Pearce is like, yeah, Jacob's not here, and he's getting super mad. Roman's getting super mad, and then he turns around. He's face to face with Seth freaking Rollins. I really liked that. I did really like that. I was like, oh, what's going to happen here? I like that they crossed paths, and Seth is just like, you're in my way. And then Roman kind of gets out of his way, or Seth kind of sidesteps him. And Seth goes, and we don't see Roman again for a little bit. We have then Seth, he goes to the ring, and he's completely attacked by Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker did a lot tonight to get me kind of back interested in him. Funny when you actually book Braun Breaker strong, he's interesting, So he beats up Seth really bad. He just beats him down. We have all the officials come out, Adam Pearce included. Boy howdy, Adam Pearce definitely trying to keep his job and show TKO, look, I'm all over Raw, because this dude was in How many segments was he in? He was in 2 Braun Breaker Seth Rollins segments. He was in 2 Roman Reigns segments. A Kairi Sane, not Kairi Sane, excuse me, Iyo and Asuka segment. Becky and Ruka segment. At least 6 segments, if I'm correct here. But anyways, Seth gets beat up. And then Seth will go in the back, and they're going to be, and Seth is like, yeah, this is all my problem, this is all my fault, but I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet, so we'll see what's going to happen. Seth Rollins, so they're going to fight at Backlash. I will do a Backlash prediction video, and I think I'm going to start, I'm going to try once again to dive into AEW content. I think it's very important that we have a strong competitor for WWE more than ever nowadays. So do watch out for that content moving forward. And but anyways, we then go to the clubhouse and we see Judgment Day. Liv Morgan is upset with Roxanne, and she's like, why wouldn't you tell me? Why did I have to watch Netflix to see that you're palling around with Finn? And she's like, no, I didn't. I said, get out of here. I like that Liv is kind of like definitely being a bully, to her family. And they'll go to the ring. It's going to be Finn Balor versus JD McDonough. And JD McDonough will get the victory. It was interesting that this feud is continuing. I wish they wouldn't have had their match like the night after WrestleMania, and that this was treated like a bigger deal, because we do have JD McDonough literally trained under Finn Balor for the last 20 years, so it would have been nice if we had played this up. The entire Judgment Day was down there and really running amok. It really made me feel like Jessica Carr didn't know how to do her job, honestly, because it's like, give me a break. When there's 4 people actively jumping on the ring ropes and stuff, yes, she did kick out Dominic Mysterio, but she should have kicked out the entire faction, because Jessica Carr was just literally like, I could not see a world in which that kind of officiating was okay. There was just so much distraction in it. And eventually, though, Liv Morgan will throw a hammer like a small hammer to Roxanne Perez. She will hit Finn Balor with it, and that will allow JD to win with a headbutt. That was kind of funny. He won with a headbutt. And so, yeah, JD gets probably the biggest win of his main roster career, and looks like this feud will continue. What else did we have going on here tonight? Oba Femi, this was later in the show. Oba Femi does do his open challenge. I thought this was like, way too many open challenges. Let's just get that out of the way. Way too many open challenges. But the Oba open challenge was entertaining tonight because it looked like it was going to be Tozawa, right? It looked like it was going to be Tozawa, but at the last second they swapped it to Otis. And so that was a nice little, I wouldn't say swerve, but a nice little, cute little story beat right there. And then Otis proceeds to lose to Oba Femi. I wish they wouldn't regulate Oba Femi to just clothesline, running European uppercut, and, oh man, do I got a booger? Gosh, if I have a booger, I'm sorry. One take, one shot. We're all adults here, right? And then he gets the fall from grace power bomb, and does he do any other moves? I don't know. Right now, it's like they've really, said, Oba, we don't want you to wrestle anymore. We just want you to do these big power moves. And just let the dude wrestle. He can wrestle. Come on. We've a lot of us have seen NXT. We know the guy can go. I don't want just power moves, but Brock Lesnar just did power moves. Yeah, but come on. We don't need that. It's like we can have Brock Lesnar didn't do power moves the first his first run from 2002 to 2004, 5, whatever it was. So can we get more of that Brock for Oba Femi instead of the Brock that was just Suplex City? Suplex City was cool, but it got old. But yeah, so Oba Femi will beat Otis. This was a good start to the Oba Femi Open Challenge. I hope the end boss of the Open Challenge is either Omos or Bronson Reed or even Braun Strowman. Those would be a really good 3 people to end the Open Challenge with. But Oba, he's still way over. Let's get him on the microphone some too. He can talk. We got Judgment Day. We already did that. Ruka. So we had 2 contract signings. Come on. ChatGPT, you can do better. Triple H, put this prompt in. Write Monday Night Raw for me, but do not repeat any segments, any stories, and then you don't have to worry about multiple open challenges or multiple contract signings. So Ruka comes out to sign her contract, and then Becky comes out, and Becky and Ruka get into it. I don't know if Ruka was nervous. She was I think everything she was saying was just a little off, and everything she said the other week was a little off with Liv Morgan. So hopefully she can shake these nerves. She did botch her Soul Snatcher as well, and thank God that wasn't Rhea Ripley or Jade Cargill or LA Knight, because the internet would be crying bloody murder, saying fire them for dare making a botch. And I'm not saying that about Sol Ruka. I'm just saying let's give some forgiveness and grace to some other wrestlers too when they make a mistake. But yeah, Sol Ruka, she's really over with the crowd, so I don't think any kind of errors she did tonight is not going to affect. I think this is a really good starting feud for Sol Ruka, because Becky Lynch, she is the best in the world, and that's not just me saying it. That's Sports Illustrated. She should probably go to the main event. I think Sol Ruka actually beating Becky in her first feud would actually kind of be a good thing. I think Sol Ruka would be an excellent Intercontinental Champion for a little bit before she gets to go to the main event scene. During the thing, the funny part is that Becky will punch Sol Ruka, but Sol Ruka will duck it, and she'll punch Adam Pearce. I wish Adam Pearce sold it more, but I get what they were trying. He was just upset just about everything, and it wasn't it didn't ruin it, but I think he could have sold it more. It's the man. She's the man. We should sell that a little more. You know what they did sell? The tongue and death grip. They had Michael Cole and Corey Graves literally take 2 or 3 minutes to just explain how deadly the tongue and death grip is. I really like that. I love that. Actually, I love that. This was probably the best match of the night, and it was Rusev and Ethan Page versus Javon Evans and Penta. Now, Penta does take the pin. I'm not a big fan of the champion taking the pin, but unless we did a disqualification or a counter or something like that, it was almost no good way to have anyone lose. Javon needs to look strong. Ethan Page needs to look strong. Rusev got pinned last week, so if we want to keep him credible, but then you got to pin your champion. Yeah, it was a tag match. I get it, whatever. So, I was very much entertained by this. And Javon actually has really good chemistry with Ethan Page. I already knew that, but even Rusev. And what did I want to say about this match though? I don't know. It was just a good match. It was just a solid match. Ethan Page and Rusev. I think Ethan Page is one of those guys that we should always pair him up with somebody. Every time I seen him pair up with somebody, it's always gold. Chelsea Green, Ethan Page, and now Rusev. He's really drawing Rusev out of his shell, and it's beautiful stuff. I really like that. We have then Jay and Jimmy Uso are in the building. They say they're not going to miss the contract signing for the world, and then they don't show up for the contract signing at all. So that was weird. Even though their Roman Reigns tribal chief is getting beat up, they don't show up, and they're definitely 100% in the building. I think we should have just not shown them in the building. Jay does call him little cousin, so this is still the right-hand man, but yeah, why aren't the Usos helping? Unless they are about to turn on Roman Reigns. So what if? Rumor has it that TKO is trying to get every top star to take a 50% pay cut. So, now people are what if Roman loses at Backlash and they just release him? Because he did get all of his June dates cut. He was literally going to be here every date until, SummerSlam, and because he's not part of Night of Champions now, they literally said don't show up for June. So nobody can be mad at Roman Reigns for not being a part of WWE in June, because that is a TKO or Triple H decision. You're like, what? I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on that, but for real, it's crazy. So people are starting to speculate that maybe Roman has a chance at losing the title, because they're like, people are thinking, is Roman paid too much? Like, that's not me saying that. Like, these are rumors out there on the internet right now. Then we did have the Joe Hendry rock concert, and he's like singing. This is where Logan Paul will come out and say the stuff that I talked about earlier. You can't fire me, you can't fire me. This is Joe Hendry versus Austin Theory. During the match, Logan Paul is irate. He's been irate all night long. And finally, he does attack Joe Hendry. Disqualification. They beat him down. Street Profits come out. But then Bron Breakker comes out. And then Seth Rollins comes out. And at some point during this scuffle, Seth gets distracted at Montez Ford jumping over the ring turnbuckle or whatever it is to jump on the outside. That gives Bron Breakker the opening to attack Seth freaking Rollins. Little scared because I really think Bron Breakker needs to beat Seth at Backlash, but Bron Breakker did stand tall. But then again, Oba stood tall over Brock before WrestleMania, so maybe that WWE trope is no longer a thing. I hope so. The Grande Americanos are running rampant. So now we have Grande Americano and his faction, the Los Grandes. Then you got now OG Grande with, like, he now has some luchador backups too. And I'm not exactly sure what the relation is here. I do think that this storyline might have run its course like a month or 2 or 3 ago. So, like, I definitely love Grande Americano, but I do think it's time to move on. I will be interested to find out who the imposter is, because they're doing a mask versus mask match at AAA. All we know is that one of them is not Chad Gable, because OG Grande Americano actually gave us an update on him tonight, saying that he's still injured. So it was nice to hear about that. So, man, OG Grande Americano has been he's been on the shelf about as long as Bianca Belair. I hope he's not pregnant too. Then we go to the second contract. Oh no, then we have Asuka versus Iyo. Now, it's set up like a contract signing, but it's not a contract signing, but it's very cinema. And they're talking. Definitely wish they would have brought up Kairi Sane here. Still fingers crossed that Kairi shows up for one night only at Backlash to tie a bow on this story here. But I don't know, they didn't mention her. Anyways, so they're going back and forth. It's really good, really personal. I think they could have, because remember how the story was very heated, and then it just took like 3 months off, and then it got heated up again when Rhea went and won the title. I wish they would have said, Iyo should have said something like, when this first happened, I was really like, I backed away. I backed away on purpose because I never wanted to fight you, senpai. Like, we could have made it a little better, explained why it suddenly cooled off, and that could have been Iyo trying to be just heartbroken by the whole situation. We didn't do that. But at the end, they get really face to face, and then she just spits in her face. Iyo spits in Asuka's face, or Asuka spits in Iyo's face. Great stuff there. That was really good. Caught me, even though you could see it coming, it still kind of caught you off guard. Especially because nowadays it seems like the wrestlers just stare at each other, and then that's an angle, and that's what was happening. But then she spit. Beautiful. Then we get to the second contract signing. The main event started at 9:03, 10:03, and I was like, holy cow, this is early. What, are they paying catering by the hour? Is the light bill too much? Do we got to turn off? Is TKO just wants everybody out of the arena so the electricity bill doesn't ramp up? But we got Roman comes out, sits down at the head of the table. I like that. If you ever notice, Roman sits at the head of a table, even though it's not very natural, because Jacob will sit on one side, and naturally you're supposed to sit on the other side across from him, but Roman always sits at the head of the table. Little Easter egg for ya. And Roman, he also fixed a plot hole from last week. Last week, Roman was like, I kind of let you in, Jacob, because, I approve everything, when it was Solo who brought Jacob in. But Roman said this week, I brought in Solo, and Solo brought you in, so therefore I brought you in because I brought Solo in. Classic, vintage Roman gaslighting, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. When I say Roman gaslights, I love that he gaslights. That's my Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. I'm not even joking here. I like heels, but Roman's a face. No, he's not. But honestly, Jacob's not a face either. Jacob is like literally, I want this. I'm gonna tear apart our family because I just want money. I did like how Jacob said, I'm gonna drain every dollar. I'm gonna squeeze every dollar, every penny from this company like they have from our family. Now, I wish he would have said from all us wrestlers, but he said our family. I understand why. But yeah, they were just going at it. Roman said, you're only worried about your family, like what, 7 kids? I'm worried about a generation. And they just go with it. He's like, you bring out the tongue and death grip? That's for like a bar fight at 3 a.m. I'm your tribal chief. And you do that when your back's against the wall. And Jacob's like, my back is against the wall. I've been fighting all my life for this. And Roman's like, you've been grinding for 12 years. I've been here for 12 years. And they just kind of go at it. This was probably the weaker of all the segments, to be honest with you. But it was fine. It's like, I don't know, it was fine. There was a point where Jacob went to slam Roman through the table, and the table didn't break, but when you flip the table over, the legs were bent. So, like, I hope he's okay. Because that gotta hurt. But that's your Raw for you. This wasn't like a horrible Raw, although I did feel like they were kind of like very insensitive, and not just insensitive, but downright borderline disrespectful, rubbing some salt in the wound of some of our favorites being released. And but yeah, I'm just gonna give this Raw a 6. Maybe a 6.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 chops on the chopo-meter, because it wasn't a bad Raw for today by today's standards, but I'm not really hyped for anything. I don't think this really got me hyped. It did a little to rebuild Braun Breaker. And Jacob is like, holding his own. And it's nice to see Roman all the time. But for the most part, 6.5 Raw. If you want to give it a 7, I can understand. If you want to give it a 5, I can understand. Heck, if you want to give it a 10, you want to give it a 1, that's you. Don't let me yuck your yum. If you loved it, then keep loving it. If you hate it, keep hating it. All right, boys. All right, girls. See ya, bye.